What's going on, everybody? Chris here from Realridesharestories. On this channel, we do a lot of different things within the rideshare industry, so if you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications. But before we get started, if you have a crazy Uber Lyft experience, whether you're passenger or driver, record it, send it my way, and maybe we can feature you on the channel. All right, it's Friday night. The moon is bright, kind of. It's like a half moon, at least from what I remember last night when I was out. But I got a good scenario for you guys today. So I'm gonna kind of cover it and see what you guys think. So this is the live stream. So anybody who's watching, chime in the live chat. And then anybody who's watching the replay, make sure to check out the chat, the live chat, as well as post your comments below and say what you would do. What's going on? Fun with drones. I love drones. I want to get one actually. But yeah, so I got a pretty good scenario for you. This happened yesterday actually, and I was gonna go do a live stream last night, but it ended up getting way too late and I was too tired when I got home. So I'm like, all right, well, I'll just save it until today. So that's what we're gonna be doing. All right, so this scenario is for drivers. DJI Mavic Air are great. Yeah, I've seen them. Side note, there's actually this really funny one on, complete side note right now, really funny drone. It's like 51 grand or something like that. And the comments are just absolutely hilarious. So if you ever go do that, look up like most expensive drone in the world on Google and just read the comments. It's freaking hilarious. All right, but going back to the scenario from yesterday. All right, so I pick up a ride and it's at a restaurant where, it's a Chinese restaurant and a couple of Chinese get into my car. Nothing wrong with that. I have no problem. I don't care. But you knew that they weren't able to speak English because they were all speaking Mandarin. One could speak English just a little bit. Now, just to give you guys a quick setup, just to kind of put this in distance terms, right at UB, which is one of the major campuses around my area, there's a heavy heavy Asian population that goes to the school. So a lot of Asians do go there. And so when you're at the school and it's move-in day, which was yesterday for most schools in most areas and parts of UB were, you kind of figure that they're going to go somewhere around that area. But when I started the app and started the ride and slid it over to the beginning of the ride, it was like going in the middle of absolute nowhere. So it was like a 37-minute ride just from where I was picking them up into the middle of nowhere, which was like a very corner rural area of our county, which is Erie County, in where Buffalo is located. So it's really far out there in the middle of nowhere. I don't care, that's a ride, it's a pretty long ride, no big deal. It's not with Lyft's new pay structure, so it's okay. But then midway through the ride, as I'm about halfway there, the one girl who could speak English a little bit said, we want to continue the ride going to the next spot, which I knew exactly where it was, and it would have been like, it was like another 25-minute ride on top of that. But the good thing is it was back to civilization. So here are my questions that I have for all of you guys on what you would do, because a couple of things how the ride played out is something that if you're in this situation, you can kind of figure it out and see what you would do. Now I know what I'd do. I did what I did. But I wanted to raise a question to you guys. So again, pickup was was at a restaurant. They were going about 35, 37 minutes away into a rural destination. They couldn't speak English very well. And yes, Google Translate is a great option, but when you're in the middle of driving, especially back roads and that, and going through some twists and turns, it's a little bit harder. But one of the big things was they said that they wanted to add a ride to going to a hotel, which was another 25 minutes onto the ride. But it was going back to civilization, so it was like, oh, even better. So the question then I have for you guys is, If you tell them that they have to change it in the app, but because they may not know, they may not speak English very well, and they may not understand what you mean, and you tell them if you can add or edit the location, so then it's all in the map, or would you do it and update the location as you get to the end of the first destination? So here you go. Answer that question first. What would you do if you would change the location yourself, or you would make them do it, and if they don't do it, you would end the trip? So comment there. Let me know what you think. You like Clayton, New York, Thousand Islands. Cool. Thousand Islands is pretty nice. I haven't been there. But yeah, then, so what I did was I just got close to that destination, but it wasn't enough to trip it saying end ride. And then I knew where the address was. I just pulled over. I changed the destination for them because, again, they don't necessarily know. Yeah, okay, cool. So you updated it. All right, and then now here's the thing. So I get to the location. Again, it's 35 minutes from anywhere. And if I actually took one of the main roads back towards the city of Buffalo, it would probably be about 20 minutes before you really kind of get into a little bit more populated suburban area. So that's how far we were out. But here's the thing. So I pull up to a house. She says that they had to pick up somebody real quick. Not a big deal, but they needed to go in for a minute or two to go in and talk or whatever they were doing. I don't know. But I knew at that point that it was not going to be a couple minutes. I knew it was going to be longer. I just had that feeling, that gut feeling. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, all right, I'm sitting in this location. I'm at least 20 something minutes away from a real suburban area where, rides are going to be a little bit closer. If I ended the ride right now because they took too long, it's going to be probably a long pickup at least for any ride that may possibly come in. And it might take me to an area that I don't even want to go to just because it's going to be a further out distance than where I'm already at now. So I'm kind of poised with this dilemma right now saying, if they do take too long, how long is too long before I cancel the ride, or end the ride, I should say, at that point? Or do I wait and take them back to the next location, or take them to the next location, which is back to a much more populated area where rides will be coming in? So then the question that I posed for you is, how long would you guys wait until you would either cancel the ride and end it at that point because you're waiting too long, or would you continue to wait a certain amount of time? That's a tough one. What do you mean? I'm not sure. But yeah, what would you do in that situation? Would you say only a couple of minutes? Would you wait a few more minutes because you know that you're in the middle of nowhere? And I'm oh yeah, tough one. Okay. So here's, yeah, anybody could chime in, comment below, let me know what you think with that. But here's the big thing. So I'm sitting in this area, and again, I know it really well. I can't really, it's probably going to be a little more easier visual, but bear with me. Again, like I said, I'm 20 minutes away from really getting to closer rides where they're going to be a little bit closer to each other. And if I end the ride now, if I even get a ride, it's going to be a long pickup, at least for sure, maybe 20, 25 minutes on an easy gamble if they come in. So I'm sitting there, I pull up, they go in the house, and the guy who owns the house walks out and says, he's American, so he can speak English, and I'm sure he's more of a translator for the people that were in the car. And he just said, hey, would you want to, or can you sit around for a little bit, or like update the location, just that. Because, here's the other thing too. If I cancel and end the ride and I start traveling back, I'll probably still be the closest ride that will get a ping to come back to that location to pick them up. So I'm weighing all this in my head all at the same time. And I have my clock that's counting the time as well too. So the initial ride took me 37 minutes. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, all right, well, if I wait here even 10 minutes, at, I don't know, 17 cents a minute or whatever it is, I'm like, this isn't really going to be worth it. But I know where you're going. So overall, it's probably going to be all right. And what ended up happening was about 6 minutes in, a guy walked out, again, who owned the house. He gave me a $20 bill and said, hey, thanks for waiting. There'll just be another minute or two. And it ended up being about 12, 13 minutes or so waiting time, which, then I took the ride back, which was another 25 minutes. And so the whole ride was like 100, or not 100, it was like an hour and 10 minutes or something from the start to the end. And what was great was it took me out in the middle of nowhere, waited, got a $20 tip from person who wasn't even in the ride, and then proceeded back. So I know some drivers out there would be like, oh no, if they're gonna be more than 2 minutes, I'm canceling and I'm leaving. But again, sometimes you gotta weigh the options. So what would you do in those situations? I know that was a big explanation, but I really wanted to give you that. You already spent the time with them. Yeah, and that's exactly what it was. It was for other people or other nationalities, tipping isn't necessarily a big thing or even, part of their, way of life. It's much bigger here in America and it's much bigger in certain areas of the world, but other areas of the world, it's actually disgraceful and things. So as Americans, if you go to other areas and you tip, they don't like that. And so it's this big disconnect. But knowing, like I said, that they were from a different country, I didn't think that I would be getting tipped, but I was looking at the ride as a whole to and from the location. So from point A to B and then to C for the drop off was taking me way out and then way back, which was really good. So, I would have probably waited maybe 15, 20 minutes for that. Just because I know, like, even if I started the ride back, if I got a ride, I would probably be at least 15, 20 minutes, if not longer, depending on where the location of that next ride might have came in. So yeah, I waited, but like I said, just about the 7, 8 minute point or whatever, that one guy came out and he gave me a $20 tip and said, hey, thanks for waiting. There'll be just a couple more minutes. So that was just something that was pretty cool and extra. But yeah, there's certain scenarios that you got to figure out what you would do in that situation. If you would take the ride, how you would handle it, especially going out into the boonies in the middle of nowhere and in farmed country, and then trying to figure out exactly how you would get back. And what was really cool is, that they needed that ride back to civilization, which was nice. So it actually worked out for a good favor, at least in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, even if there was no tip there, even if it was just the ride to the place and the ride back, would you have waited? Would you weigh the options of where you currently are and then gamble on where the next ride probably would be? Like I said, maybe 15, 20, 25 minute away just for a pickup, and not even necessarily in the direction you want to go. So again, I could be in the middle of two cities, which I kind of was, but not really. But the other one could come in that's 20 minutes away going the opposite way of Buffalo, which is like an amusement park area, or a little bit further, which is another casino, Batavia Downs and that. So there's always some different things going on that you always got to weigh. And again, I like bringing up these different scenarios to everybody, just because you never really know what could happen, and it's just going to help you think about those things beforehand. So think about that. I don't want to do too long of a live stream, only because I'm actually going to be heading out and going driving. It's Friday night. Hopefully it'll be pretty busy. It should be picking up very soon because, schools are back in session, or at least starting to get back in session. Teachers are going back. So it should hopefully even itself out, because some nights, you go out and it'd be like sitting out there and you'd be waiting and be like, this is boring the hell out of me. Took a lady 50 minutes away and waited an hour, for and brought her back. $78 $8 and plus, yeah, that's not, that's not bad. Sometimes the gambling, you waited an hour. So that was about what, 2 hours and 40 minute total, which gave you $118. That's probably what you'd make on a normal, if you stayed like close, getting your normal rides. Your normal, I don't even know, what would that be for the 3 hours? What's up, Rideshare Source driver? Once had a Walmart pickup with a stop at Olive Garden, waited over 10 minutes while they get inside. Ended the trip, one of the two girls came out, gave her all the Walmart bags. Oh, that's funny. I actually had that happen to me about a month ago. And I was debating if I wanted to put that video up or make that into a video. I picked a woman up from Burlington Coat Factory, which is like a little small department store. And I picked her up and she wanted to go to Fridays to pick up food and then head to her house. So I'm like, okay, whatever. The way she made it sound is that the food was already ordered and ready to go, or very soon ready to go. So we pull up to Fridays. I sit there and wait, sitting there, waiting, and 11 or 12 minutes go by. And I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, man, she duped me. But it does happen, unfortunately. And she had bags in the car, same thing, those anchors that we all love. Normally, unfortunately, sometimes you can't do stuff, but yeah, you can do that too. You can cancel there and let them know. It was only 12-minute wait time though, and then ended up taking her back to her place. I took her once before too. She was really nice. I remembered her from, a few days actually prior to that. I took her from another location to her home. She was really cool. She had a really, she just had a nice conversation. She was just a good conversationalist. We had a good time. So honestly, in that circumstance, it didn't really bother me too much that I had to wait. But if it was just somebody who I didn't really know beforehand, I probably would have been a little bit more irked and angry at that one. Yeah, some passengers think we're personal drivers. Absolutely. The worst is when they're on the phone, they get in the car, don't even acknowledge you, and you try to ask them to verify where they're going, and you're like, hey, are you going here? Or what? Just to verify, what's the address? And they're like, what? Excuse me? And it's like you're bothering them. And it's like, no, that's not really how it happens. But yeah, that's definitely an annoying thing right there. Sometimes cancel after you waited, but sometimes just end the ride, get paid, and contact Lyft to remove the rating. Yeah. Yeah, normally, I gotta say, waiting things aren't too bad. I had somebody who once got picked up from work and they wanted to go to Wegmans, which is a local grocery store, and continue the ride back to their house. And they're like, I'll be in and out in 5 minutes. And I'm like, no, you're not. Don't lie to me. And I said, look, I can only wait 5 minutes. If you're not here back within 5 minutes, I got to cancel. Needless to say, I ended up waiting the 5 minutes and having to cancel and end the ride right there. Who knows how long that took, but I wasn't waiting to do that. When people are going grocery shopping like Walmart or just grocery stores, malls, anything like that, and they have a multi-stop there, just tell them that you're not able to stay there that long and cancel and go to the next, for sure. Yeah, you give them 10 minutes, that's not a problem. Yeah, I normally depending on where they are. If it's for food, I'll probably wait about 10 minutes. If it's for like groceries or, something like that, I'll tell them it's like 5 minutes because that's really essentially what it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be a long wait. And then if they go to the corner store like 7-Eleven or something like that, they're not going to be in there long. It's usually less than 5 minutes, so I don't even have to tell them. Same thing with the liquor store. Usually most people know what they're getting. The most you got to worry about is if people are in line, you got to wait for that. Other than that, it's really not too long to wait. So like corner stores, liquor stores, fast stores like that, I don't even let them know if it's going to be a long wait, because I know they're not going to be in there long. It's more of the big places where they could be shopping for quite a while. At that point, why don't you just open up your phone, go on Amazon, buy your stuff there, and then be good to go. Give time with distance. Ugh. Tell them you can only wait 10 minutes and I might be able to get the ping again. Yeah, most people do understand that. Actually it was kind of strange. There was one person who I took to her house to TGI Fridays, to pick up food, and she only put a one-way in, and she said, I'm going to be going back in a minute, so I'm going to reorder, and if you're right here, then, that'd be cool. And I'm like, okay, I didn't know why she didn't do it, and the food was already ordered and ready to go. She's like, I already ordered it. She was literally in and out, but yeah, she reordered the ride, and this was after I ended it, and she said, oh yeah, I'm gonna be reordering the ride to go back. So I'm just waited for a quick second. She reordered the ride as she was walking in. I just hit the ping, which was pretty cool. But unfortunately, I don't know why she did that, because now she had to pay 2 booking fees instead of just saying, hey, I'm gonna go in, get food, and come back and put the double stop in. But I reminded her about that, so if she didn't know, I'm not sure. But yeah, she went double there on that stop. But yeah. All right, so does anybody have any quick questions or anything that they want to talk about overall in any situation with Uber, Lyft, or just hanging out? We talked drones real quick at the beginning. So if anybody has any quick questions or comments, or any maybe other scenario that you have that you thought about or were in and wanted other people to chime in, or just bring it to other people's attentions, and kind of think about it for themselves, let me know, and we can talk a little bit more. Other than that, I'll probably end it soon, unless, like I said, we get a good conversation going. But yeah. What about all this Lyft pay cut or pay changes? I'm actually going to be talking about that in another video. I really wanted to wait to answer myself the questions on that and really dive into it. So some of the things that I actually found out from just doing my own research and looking at other videos and watching that, it actually kind of surprised me. So we're going to be covering that and a little bit more at a different time, either tomorrow or Sunday. I'm not quite sure what yet, but that'll be a live stream as well too, just because there's something where we can play scenarios and see the difference. And that's all I'm going to say with that part. But yeah, last week you had 1 seat share ride, showed up with nice. So last week you had 1 seat for a share ride, showed up with a lady with 3 kids without seats. First of all, I hope you canceled right then and there for many different reasons, but yeah. So anybody who doesn't know, shared rides, you can only have 2 people. So you have 3 kids plus her, which is 4. That's a regular or an X, depending on what platform she used. No car seats. See ya. I don't understand some people sometimes. I really don't. That's insane. Yeah, there's so many problems with just that little scenario right there. You like the videos, learn a lot. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I like helping people. I've been doing it for a while. I've done it for 4 years now in 2 different markets. I like doing it, and I like to be a problem solver too. Like, that's my forte. I like to look at things and see how I can fix them. So, when people bring up questions or comments or problems that they're facing or something, like even if it might not be able to apply directly to you, maybe because of market restrictions or certain issues like that, at least I like to think in different ways and then attack it from different ways. So, if I see a problem or something, plus, we're all trying to make money. We're all trying to do the best. So why should somebody out there be like, no, you don't need to know tips when it can make you more money working quick, working more efficiently, working less, and having more time to yourself because you're making a little bit more money. So I really enjoy helping people do that. It's just a nice thing to do, kind of like a pay it forward type thing. Plus, there's so many problems with Uber and Lyft, and they really need to fix things. And I understand some of the reasoning on why they do some of the things they do, but I still look at it and I say, you are stupid, Uber and Lyft, when it comes to certain policies or implementation of things or non-implementation of things because of stupid reasoning. And that's another topic of conversation. But yeah. You quit driving last Friday. Sick of Uber and Lyft constantly doing pay cuts, plus sick of inconsiderate riders. Yes, that's absolutely true. Chad, when I do the live stream either tomorrow or Sunday, I haven't figured out what, we're going to be talking about Lyft's new pay structure. It's very surprising, actually, and I'm sure everybody who's watched Dustin's video or Gio's video or anybody else's video out there about the pay change, I have to show you guys something that may be a little bit surprising to you guys, that I've kind of figured out and looked at a little bit differently. And that's why I wanted to hold off on talking about the Lyft pay structure changes, but we are going to be talking about that in a live stream. But yes, I understand, those pay cuts, especially if you've been around for a few years now, you're going, I don't know what market you're in, but if you saw a $2 a mile and now you see 68 cents a mile, that's a huge difference. And there's some issues right there. So I fully understand what you're talking about there. But you can still make some pretty decent money. I drove last night for 3 hours and I made $92. So, granted, the one ride that I took that was the birth of this scenario that we were talking about earlier gave me like $60. But yeah, still, that's, you can still make money if, but yeah, I completely understand if you're not driving anymore. Don't understand why parents put these kids in a car without a car seat. Yes, I don't understand what that either, because, my daughter, I would never put her in the car without a car seat, just because of the simple fact that, one, if something happens, what are you going to do? Like, how are you going to feel? Even though, chances are nothing will happen, there is still that little small chance that something could happen. There's no reason to do it, especially being unsafe. I don't understand either. I really don't. I don't know. Did a video about the driver who threw that passenger to her death last week. I didn't do a video last week who threw through Mr. Pickle Pants. Are you sure that was me? I didn't do a video on, I didn't even know that there was a passenger that got thrown to her death last week. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure who you might be referring to. I actually didn't even know that. So that's very sad what happened. So were you talking about maybe Dustin or somebody else? I'm not quite sure. Uber app glitches. Yeah, it's problematic always, but they're always trying to update software, and that's the problem. Anytime there's technology, if you're not running like the latest and greatest of everything, there can be glitches, and that's on any app whatsoever. I haven't really run into too many glitches on my end, except for The only thing I've really had problems with was when you go to accept a ride and it says, "Oops, something went wrong," and then it just goes back to the driver screen waiting for a ride. Um, that's a pain in the ass for sure. But other than that, I really haven't had too many problems, even on the Lyft side of things, where they're known for a lot of issues too. As a matter, since summer 2015, Uber lowered per mile pay once only. It's 90 cents. Yeah, depending on where you are, there's actually a website you can go on to see the history of the price changes in each market. All you got to do is type in on Google like Minnesota page Uber driver pay rate, or I forget the name of the site, but yeah, they have. You can look at any market and see what the pay changes were. Anytime they changed anything, whether it be the time rate, the pay rate, so you can actually see what market you were at the time and all that. It's actually pretty cool. I was looking at that recently. Sorry, just going back. Uber spent 200K on balloons. I know, I saw that. I'm like, what the hell? I could go to the store, I could go on at any store, get a 100 pack at the dollar store, and hey, look, there you go. You know what it is? It's tax write-offs. That's all it is. So they can say that they had losses for the year and not pay any taxes. That's what they do. That's what Amazon does. That's what Walmart does. It's all taxes. Here's the best part. You and I can do that type of thing too, but the only thing is we can't because we don't have the people and the lawyers and the attorneys and the CPAs looking at every single tax loophole to find how you don't have to pay taxes. But you and I are entitled to that same exact thing, but they spend a lot of money on those type of people to look for every tax loophole they possibly can, including Uber, and that's why they haven't paid taxes. Do you consider for inhumane to have a pet in the car, not a service pet? You know what? I don't mind taking pets. I carry a blanket. As long as it's a dog or a cat that's, usually cats are in those crates. I've never come across anybody who has transports a cat without the crate. Dogs usually, they'll stay in a spot if you put them there. But I have a towel that I put out in case I ever have any dogs or anything that come in. For me, I don't really mind. I like animals, but that's me. Now, if you're allergic or if you have certain problems with animals, maybe, I don't know, there's any type of reason, you could, not want to take them. But that's up to you. I mean, that's your call. As long as they're not, if they're a service animal, you have to take it. But if they're not a service animal, you don't really have to. But again, like I said, for me, I don't really care either way. As long as the animal doesn't do anything in my car and stays on the towel, I'm okay with that. It really doesn't bother me. But again, that's your choice and your call, whatever you want to do. On the car seat issue, I tell them I don't break the law for strangers. Do you? No, I don't. I don't either. I don't take any kid without a car seat at all. Because one, I'm not going to be liable for an accident. I'm not paying any money outside of, that I have to for a passenger because they're the ones who are asking us to break the law. Also in my area, I'm the one who's liable for everybody in the car. So that means if I have a child that's transported in my car, and they don't have a car seat, I'm the one who's getting a ticket. And again, I'm not paying money for somebody else when we're not getting good rates to begin with anyways. Even if we were making $2 a mile or whatever, I still wouldn't do that because guess what? That was hard-earned money that I made, and I'm not paying a ticket for them. So no, I won't accept any child without a car seat. There are exceptions to every rule. I did post a video a couple months ago about a certain scenario, and that was, if there was a domestic dispute and you could kind of tell or you came into it, what would you do? In certain circumstances like that, yeah, I could change my opinion because I want to make sure people are safe first. That's really what it's all about, is safety first. So if life is in imminent danger, that would be like the only exception that I would make when it comes to taking a child in a car, without a car seat. But other than that, no, I'm not taking a child without a car seat, and I don't care what excuse they have. They're gonna get canceled on, and I'm gonna get my money. It's not worth it. Surely not worth it. Oh, I'm scrolling through the comments and I saw one. Bad storm, lost connection. Where you at? Fun with drones. Hopefully you got back on. You had a lady wanted to go 35 minutes north with her 2 children, no car seats, and start crying when I told her I couldn't do it. I felt bad, but I'm not going to take that chance. I don't blame you right there one bit. Hey, you threw away that money, but if you got pulled over in that 35 minutes, if you got into an accident in that 35 minutes, that could be a life changer. What if something happened? Here's the other thing, the underlying thing that nobody really talks about or brings up. If you took a child without a car seat, and most people probably watching this right now are not going to do that because you guys are watching videos to be better rideshare drivers, get entertainment, whatever it might be. But most of you guys probably won't be doing that. And the people that do, what happens if something does happen? You get into an accident and that child gets very injured, maybe life-threatening injuries, the post-traumatic stress that you might face as a driver because you wanted to make those few extra dollars, when in turn now there's a lot more issue there. It's not worth it. It really isn't. So people like that, just with the car seats and parents, I don't understand that. Mr. Pickle Pants, I was scrolling through and I just saw your comment. We got to it right now. You once had a woman try to sneak a baby in the car in a duffel bag. That's fucked up. And I hope you called the cops. Wow, that's really messed up. That's all I can say about that. Wow, that's seriously screwed up. Yeah. I'm kind of speechless at how people are. A duffel bag to bring your child in. Up to 8 years age, car seat or booster seat. Yes, that is in your area. Other areas, it's different. Each state is different. When you're in your own state, you need to know. Now, here's a quick thing on interstate travel. So if you're near a border and you go across state lines, so let's say you're in... let's say Toledo, Ohio, and you want to have a ride that's going to Indiana. And you have a child who's 7 years old. And maybe, I don't know the law in Ohio and I don't know the law in Indiana, so I'm just playing a speculative game right now. But in Ohio, if the child law seat says anybody over 6 years old doesn't need a booster seat, they're good to go, that's cool. If you get into Indiana and it says you need to have a child booster seat up until 8, but you have this little buffer zone, laws are, the driving law is whatever the home state is, because you're registered and licensed in the state of Ohio, they have to honor those laws in Indiana. So just make sure you know what your home state law is. You might get some slack from cops in case anything happens or anything like that. But that's usually what happens. It's the same thing with like if you need a front license plate, because a lot of states don't require front license plates, but a lot of states do. So it's always these kind of things. So just make sure you know your home state's car seat rules. And then also always check them because they always change them and they can change them a lot. Don't follow on Facebook because I've seen so many Facebook posts that say, oh, the new law is changing, this new car seat law, and every 3 months I see it, and it's like, no, it hasn't changed like that. So actually go to your state's website and find out what the car seat and booster seat law actually is for your state. And then if you cross state borders, know that you're pretty well protected in with your home state, because they're supposed to honor it. Same thing with inspections, same thing with all that good stuff. Sorry, I got to scroll back up. You had it where you pay for a few rides. Think of show up on the app for a couple days. Said I gave the rides. Yeah, they've been that's the biggest problem I have actually seen with Uber as well too, is that they will they'll say that you completed the ride and then there's some issue with the pay and you can't get your pay or you can't know it. That can be a pain. I haven't had that happen recently, but there was like one time at one point, I think like 4 days went by that you took rides 4 days prior and still couldn't see what it was. Yeah, that's very annoying, especially if you want to try and cash out before. I don't suggest cashing out. I say, just because you're gonna have to pay that money, that 50 cents, it's not worth it. But that's me. I mean, you guys do what you want to do. Chris, yeah, duffel bag, unbelievable what people will try and do. Exactly. Trick of the day, rideshare people. If dog hair in the car, use fabric spray softener. It'll help get the hair up. Good tip. Definitely. Have you had any protective wrap installed in the vehicle? Not on the paint. No, I have not. It works pretty well though. I actually am pretty familiar with it. I was going to think about getting it for my car when I first got it, but I didn't for whatever reason. My car's 2013 with 162,000 miles on it, so I don't care right now. I'm gonna drive that thing into the ground. I want it to be 300,000+ miles on it before I get a new car. That thing's going to be driven into the ground as far as I can get it. So yeah, no, the three or the wrap, that stuff actually works pretty well. If you do have a newer car and you want to protect the paint, it does work really well. You get what it is. It's just a bunch of clear coats, like plastic clear coats or whatever, that they put on. You can actually peel them off layer by layer each time. So if you start getting stones kicked up in that, you can peel off the layer and go to the next one, depending on what you have, of course, or what you get. If you want to do that, that's cool. One of the things I want to look into is that it's that new wax that just came out that says it's like good for like 3 months, and it just repels everything. So I want to try that, and then maybe I'll make a video if I do that just to see how it works. Because one of the things, yeah, is you want to try to keep your car clean. And sometimes we just don't have the time to clean it if we're out trying to drive and make some money, or hustle and doing other stuff as well too. For me, I clean my car exterior probably every 3 weeks or so, usually when it's dirty. Luckily, my car doesn't show dirt, but if you have a white or a black car, whew, that can be rough. Silver's the best for sure. Hey, Al, new sub here. Thank you. How's it going? You become pretty obsessed with these Uber ride videos. Are you a driver, Al? Or a passenger? Whichever you want, it's cool. But welcome and awesome to be here. GA, fun with drones. Use 1A Auto. Yeah, if you need car parts. I usually go to Advance because I always get the 25% off. Which is nice. So the only thing you don't get off on that is like oil, which I actually have to go get because I have to change my oil. But that's okay. I like changing my own oil because it's cheap. I put the full synthetic in. It's a lot better than paying $120 for it, let me tell you. You believe Arizona doesn't really go by the age of the child, goes by weight. Yep. Certain states do go by weight. Some say age and weight, or age or weight. You just got to kind of figure out what it is. Sorry, keep going back. Also for pets, if you have a window squeegee that gets pet hair up easily. Yes, that does. That works amazingly. The squeegee. I love squeegees. Those things work great. Every time I go get gas in my car while I'm filling up, I squeegee the windows. Squeegees work great. If you guys don't have a squeegee yet, go get one. They work amazing because yeah, they're great for pet hair. They're going to get your windows much cleaner. You don't get the streaks on there as good. What's the longest ride I've done? I've taken 3 rides that are about an hour and 15 minutes one way. I've had a long ride that went about an hour one way and then an hour back. So that technically would be the longest ride I took, which was a round trip ride, which was about 2 hours. I don't know the exact time on that, but it was literally pickup point to an hour away back to that same pickup drop off point. So that was probably the best ride for being long. But yeah, I've taken 3 about hour and 15 minutes, and then that round trip one, and then a bunch of rides, all different time frames. So I like long rides for the most part. I don't like the fact of depending on, yes, ceramic coating, that's what it is. Thank you. I couldn't think of what it was, but yes, ceramic coating is exactly what I want to get for the car, just because it's supposed to be great. So, but yeah, back with that. I don't mind long rides. I like them. The only thing I hate about long rides is that they don't necessarily give you rides going back, which isn't always good, especially if you got to get on highways and if you're in between cities. Now, if you're in between close cities like Buffalo and Niagara Falls, there's a lot of population in and around those 2 cities between each other. They're about 40 minutes apart. But if you're going from like Niagara Falls, Lewiston, which is even further north from Niagara Falls, back down to like say South Buffalo or even a little bit further, that's an hour plus ride. So you're probably going to get rides anywhere in between, which is going to be nice. But yeah, when you're going like from say Buffalo to Rochester, which is an hour and 15 minutes away, there's nothing in between really except for one small town or one bigger town, and that's really about it. So that's the only problem with it. But I do like the long rides. They're fun, especially if you do get the ride back. Order it and let you know how it works. Awesome. Good to know. What's up, Renegade Biker? Do you think that local county, state government rules and regulations in regards to the TNC industry is a reason for the low rates in both Uber and Lyft, except in Arkansas? I don't know what it is in Arkansas, so I can't tell you that. Do I think that the rules and regulations in regard to the TNC is the low rates? No, because the taxi cab industry is much higher rates. They charge, what, 30 cents per 6 mile in my area. So if you do that out, it's what, no, wait, per 6th. It's $3. I forget what it is. I know it's $3 per mile that they end up making though. And then time on top of that. So no, I don't believe it's that. I believe that they keep, what Uber and Lyft is doing is they first started at a high rate because, well, they needed to attract drivers, so they wanted to make it look good. And it honestly, at that point, it was pretty good. And then they started, picking up all these different people. And one of the big things about Uber and Lyft is that it grew so big so quick. So they just did these massive hirings. And, that's why they just released, what, 400 people in one department. So they grew too big and weren't being smart about all their hirings. And then, you have to do app updates, you have to do technology updates, you have to do all these updates, and you have to have computer service, or all these servers and all this different things working properly and up to date. You're trying to get into new markets, you're trying to pay the licensing fees and all this. So yes, it does cost them a lot of money to do business. I'm not going to deny that fact. But one of the things too is they're trying to compete with each other by cutting passenger rates lower and lower and lower. So, if passenger A wants to look at Uber first and then look at Lyft and compare the rates and go with the cheaper option, they're going to kind of try to do a price war. And then, if it undercuts into their profit and they're not making any money, they're going to have to lower driver rates so they can do that. Plus, when they made that change from the 80-20 split to base time and distance, that really changed things in the game a lot too. So there's a lot of, I mean, it's a very complex answer, and if I could give you actual specifics, I could, but I've never done the research for that. But I know how businesses work, and that's one of the things right there. Hold on, just going back. So yeah, I hope that answers that. Yeah, order it. Nice. I might have to get that too. No, you're not a driver. You're 20. Just waiting 21 to give it a try. Hey, awesome. Welcome to the family, the rideshare family. When you are old enough for it, it's fun. But yeah, just educate yourself. Be smart out there. Have I seen or tried the lastcoat.com or Topcoat F11? Yes, I've seen that. And you know, something like that I'm going to end up trying. Don't use a squeegee on the paint. No, you don't. Only on the glass, and yes, you can get it for fur on things because the rubber really pulls it out. All right, have a good one, Chad. What's this all about? We started with the scenario at the beginning of the chat, like what happens, what would you do type scenario, from something that I did yesterday, from a ride that happened, just kind of getting you guys out there, what you would do and feel. And then, you know, just went into a hangout, answering questions, hanging out, talking about different stuff. So that's where we're at now. We're just talking about hanging out, chilling. So if you got any questions or anything, you know, you can always answer or ask. And that's what, OA X3 RTO. Guy on the other channel said you had a drinking problem, but I don't believe that at all. Who is that was saying that I have a drinking problem? Drinking water, maybe. But no, yeah, Mr. Pickle Pants, who is that? I'd love to know. I'd love to hear, because I don't even know if anybody's even said anything about me on other channels. I don't really care, though. They can think and do whatever they want. I know my own truth. And hey, maybe one night I'll do like a wine or alcohol sit down where we hang out and just drink something, but I really don't do that too much. I drink a lot of water, that's for sure. Make sure all scratches are fixed on the car. Okay, good to know, thanks. You have a drinking problem. Every time I go buy Red Bull, I drink it too fast. I like Celsius, that stuff's great. Whoa, $1.13 in Northwest Arkansas. Damn! I wish I was in what the hell is in Northwest Arkansas? Jeez. Is it just a high cost of living there? I wouldn't mind that. Yeah, here it's, I don't even remember what the rate is. I think it's 67 on Uber and 69 on Lyft or something like that. I can't remember. I don't pay, I mean, honestly, I don't even pay attention to the rates. I just get the emails. Yeah, the marketing department. Have I had PMF Pure Freaking Magic Drying Towel? Is that thing where it's like you can absorb all the water with it? Is that the one you're talking about? Because I've had those and they sucked. I mean, there's a way you can do it. I'm not sure if that's what you're talking about, where you like can just absorb like 8 times or 80 times its water weight or something. They do absorb water, but they leave a lot of streaks. You gotta know how to use it. There is a trick to it. But I had it, used it for a little bit, didn't like it. The one thing I like is that Mr. Clean, if you're gonna wash your car, that Mr. Clean with the water filter, you know, you do that, you just switch it over to soap, to water, to rinse, and then back to, and then at the end, you just do it with the filtered water. Oh my God, that works really good to make sure that there's no streaks on the car. I mean, oh, that works really good. So anybody who uses that, that's a good one. Have I ever had a person with medical emergency? I have not, luckily. One person seemed like it, the way they were well, not talking, but they were saying something stupid, and I'm like, wait, what's going on? And they were kind of like making a joke between themselves. But no, I haven't. Seriously, when it comes to a medical emergency, you know, you are not an EMT. You are not able to drive an ambulance that can turn on emergency service. You are most likely not trained to handle emergency situations. So if there's ever an emergency situation that happens in your car, best thing to do, call 911, get emergency services there, get an EMT. One, you might be in an area you don't necessarily know that's the closest hospital. That hospital might not be equipped to handle what that person might be experiencing at the moment. There's a lot of different things. So yes, if there's ever a medical emergency for any reason during the ride, call 911. If you notice that they are trying to skip out on and go to the hospital, if it's an emergent case as you're picking it up, tell them, look, call 911. Don't call us, because if something happens, that's an issue right there. That's my opinion, at least. And I don't want to be liable or risk it. If they can call 911 and get an EMT there who's trained and knows what to do. I know a little bit of first aid, but not enough to do certain things to keep them alive till they get to the doctors. So yeah, definitely tell people to use 911 for sure. Watch your health. Researchers say now, since drivers are working longer to make bank. Yep, absolutely agree with that. One of the biggest things, eat healthy when you're driving. Get out and stretch, drink water, stay hydrated. Make sure your car is clean. So like germicide, your door handles and your seat belts and all that stuff, spray stuff in the air. Best thing to do. Also, if you carry that hand sanitizer, don't go too crazy with it, because some of the bacteria on your hands is very good, which you kill with that hand sanitizer too, but only if somebody's coughing or sick. But yeah, stress is a big thing. So if you're trying to get out there and make bank and do all this stuff, that's a huge thing. You want to make sure you're healthy. So, always eating healthy, always stretching, always, getting up, walking around a little bit, cleaning your car, all those tips, it's going to be better for you, because it's going to help keep you healthier, even if you are stressed out, trying to make bank, trying to do all that. So yeah, that is a big thing right there when it comes to the rideshare industry, for sure. But yeah, health. There's actually, I do want to do some videos on health, especially now that we're starting to go into the fall season, flu season and all that good crazy crap is going to be starting soon. So I'm going to be doing some health videos, sporadically here and there, just to kind of like help you guys, be healthy, be strong, because if we're not driving, we're not making money. So until Uber and Lyft say, hey, a new benefit that if you're not working and you're sick, we'll give you some pay. That ain't going to happen. So yeah, you want to make sure that you stay healthy as much as you can. PFM Garage. There's a lot of products out there. I mean, microfiber towels, I like them. Microfiber towels are great when it comes to certain things. Banana Air, what? Check out the rate card on Lyft and look at Fayetteville. From what I can see in regards, Fayetteville has a lower import. Interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure why the rate's so nice there. Usually when things are going on, they'll have a higher rate because of cost of living, because of different things, whatever it might be. Yeah, there's a lot. I see you guys saying a lot of products. There's a lot of great products out there for sure. But there's sometimes so many, and the amount of, let's say you get a wax, that wax can last you quite a while. So it's hard you're stuck in the hospital with chest tubes. Ooh, wish you could go out tonight. Well, I hope you feel better. Jeez, sorry to hear, Chris. What's going on? I mean, you don't have to say if you don't want to, obviously. But feel better. Get better quick, and speed recovery to whatever is going on for you. Absolutely. Sorry to hear. Jeez. Tulsa rates are 64 cents a mile, while I like that. Maybe I'll go to Fayetteville. It's a little bit far, though. Is this all stuff yours, or does it belong? No, okay. So yes, this is my studio. My buddy and I actually do a podcast as well that we just started posting recently. So this is the podcast studio, although there's going to be some videos that I'm going to post here. I like doing the live streams here too, because for some reason with the phone, it sucks with the lighting and doing live streams. So like instead of being up in the car or in the car, like my face will be really, really bright and like it'll look like this, where this is all white with an eye. So yeah, I like doing that. And right now it's getting dark out, so it's just better. But no, this is my studio. I made this table, which is pretty cool, and I made that American flag right there. And this is just Niagara Falls because that's where I am. But yeah, this is all our equipment. But yeah, we do that. And then also when I start doing live streams on the computer, that's one of the things, because I got a webcam now, and trying to get in OBS to do a couple of different things, make them a little bit look better while I'm doing the live stream with you guys. So I do want to take the live streams to a different level. But yeah, and it's a lot better than on the phone, because especially when comments come in, you know, going through. But yes, epic review. Those are you have a 2013 BMW. Nice. Yeah, I have a 2013 Jeep Grand Cherokee, and I keep that thing spotless too. Everybody asks, is that a new Jeep? And I'm like, no. It's what, 9 years old is it at this point? Ooh, lung collapse, no fun. 8 times in the last 3 years. Damn, sorry to hear. I hope it wasn't from vaping. That is a big thing going on right now. I've just saw a couple of reports with collapsed lungs and vaping. So I hope you feel better, my friend. Absolutely. I hope to a quick and speedy recovery. I know that's tough, but yeah, I hope that you feel better, man. You wish you had full black chrome wrap. Damn, 4,000 installed. You know, actually something that works pretty well is the Plasti Dip or whatever that stuff is, that you can paint it on your car and then you can peel it off when you want. That stuff is actually pretty good. And the way that they do it now, I mean, you could get it gloss, you can get it matte, you can do all these different things with it. Get the metallic. Watch reviews before buying stuff for your cars. Some stuff costs more. Yep, absolutely. Scott on YouTube is great. I love him. He's funny. But yeah, he does a lot of good stuff. Mobile 2, use DJI Osmo Mobile 2 for using your phone for YouTube. Good tip. But yeah, I'm actually going to go switch it over to the webcam and do some stuff on OBS. I have been looking at Street Element too, just comparing the two, which is another online broadcasting platform. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But yeah, no, I'm trying to don't smoke or vape. Okay, cool. Great phone gimbal. Yeah, I have the Smooth gimbal somewhere. I don't have it with me. It's actually in a different area. But I have the Smooth gimbal, and that thing works really good. People notice a clean car. Yeah, absolutely. People do. So fun with drones. Believe me, people notice a clean car and thank all the time for getting into a clean car. 100% agree. I keep my car clean. I'm actually going to be doing a video on that at some point soon. Next week I have a whole week planned out for a very big topic. So that's already carved out for next week, but probably like within the following week, I'll do a nice video of my car. But yeah, 100% agree. If you have a clean car while you're driving, not necessarily so much on the outside, you can get away with some dust or, you know, bugs or stuff, but inside, huge thing right there. You can get, you know, 5 stars, much better. You can get better tips just by having a clean car, taking the time, nothing in it. Yes, I understand trash and things like that can get in, but you know, here's the thing. After everybody gets out from a ride, flick on your dome light, look around, make sure there's nothing too crazy in the car, and then continue on to the next ride. But yeah, keeping your car clean or as pristine as possible is going to be good. One of the things, if you want to do every season, if you can, try to get a nice car detail from a professional detailer. That's really going to make your car stand out nicely. It's going to smell better because they're going to use all that stuff. If you want to do a steam wash on the seats and the fabric and all that, you can. But yeah, if you do that, whether you do it yourself or you take it to a professional service and get it done, those products and that service is a tax write-off. but you probably make that money. Sorry, you probably make that money back doing that as well. So that's something that's really good. But yeah, people definitely notice. Thanks, Chris. Yeah, like I said, feel better, man. I know Scotty when you knew him. Nice, that's cool. Yeah, he's a cool guy. I like his videos. The only thing is that there's upward of 30, 35 cars at XNA Airport. And there's usually 1 or 2 flights during the day, but at least 3 to 4 flights at the 9 p.m. Varies after that. Yeah, I never understood that with brushless car wash. Yeah, that works good too, especially with paint scratches. But yeah, yeah, those dip your car, fluorescent wheel paint, chameleon paint. Yeah. Oh, there's so much stuff. It's great. Yeah, that's Renegade Biker. That and anybody else out there. I don't understand the whole airport thing. You know, people. Same thing with Buffalo Niagara International. If I went on the app right now, what is it, 9:30? I would probably see about 30, 35 people sitting there in the queue line for Uber, and then maybe like 18 or so on Lyft's platform. And that's probably the average of this time right now. What's up, Chelsea? But yeah, that's probably what it is. And, you know, you could be sitting there for a while. I went to the airport like twice and just sitting there waiting at the lot, and it was not worth it in any way, shape, or form. I could be out literally driving around, which is not meant or not something you want to do, but I could be driving around and doing something else, but at least getting rides. So I never understood that. And the thing I love about Buffalo Airport is when the late night flights come in and nobody's at that, they'll start, I mean, surge will be pretty strong at certain points. So you can take a couple of airport runs later at night, like 12, 1 in the morning, and, you know, get a pretty decent surge. And there's certain nights that you go out there and it's really nice. So you're almost guaranteed surge at that airport because of that. And then we have Niagara Falls Airport, which is in Niagara Falls, and that's like a 6-gate airport, and there's like 3 flights that come in and out of that in a day. So there's nobody that waits there, but that's the whole thing. There's nobody that drives there either. So there's no wait, but nobody's looking for rides. So it's you got to know your market and know everything about that. Use a lint roller if not too much dirt on the floor. It's quick clean. Yep, you can do that. There's a lot of different things you can do. You're a professional detailer. Well, hey, if you have a service, when this streams over you, if you want to comment your website or something, I'll post it on there. Let you do that. So for anybody in that area. But yeah, no, I definitely recommend getting your car detailed at least every few months, even every 6 months at the latest. And if you live in a cold weather climate like I do, and if they're cleaning your roads with salt or even sand, you know, that's going to get in your car and then get in your fabric, in your seats, whatever it is. It can discolor things. It can cause just a lot of crazy stuff. So you might want to, you know, take a vacuum or go to the gas station and vacuum out that stuff a little bit more just so it doesn't cause too many problems. But that's the nice thing too is a lot of people when in the winter don't mind the car being so dirty because every car is dirty and everybody understands in that area. All right. Anything else? Any other questions, comments, or anything? This live stream went way longer than I expected it to or thought it would. But I like hanging out. It's fun. But I am going to be driving soon. So last comments, last anything. Last questions, last anything. Another minute and a half. So it'll hit 70 minutes for the live stream. And then I'm going to shut it down unless something fun comes up. But yeah, other than that, I don't know. I got nothing more I can say or thinking. But yeah, if you guys got any other questions or anything left, write it down or forever hold your peace for tonight's live stream. Yeah, I don't know. Anybody going driving tonight? Thanks. Yeah, I'm actually going to be heading out right after I close down shop here and close down the live stream. So What's up, Snake? You're coming at the wrong time. I'm literally just about to end it. But if you got any questions or comments, you know, or good conversation, we can continue a little bit more. But yeah, anything else? Any other question, comments, posts, fun things? I don't know. Anything like that? 30 more seconds. Working now. I'm going to be working a little bit too. Yes, just be safe, drive smart, be aware. Absolutely. All right. Well, it looks like we're all done, so that's cool. I will be doing a live stream, like I said, either tomorrow or Sunday. I haven't figured it out. We're going to go over the Lyft pay changes and everything that's going on with Lyft itself in terms of their pay restructuring. We're going to do a lot of things on that. So make sure you're on that live stream because that's going to be a really eye-opening, I think, for a lot of people as to what is going to happen, the reality of everything. So we are going to be doing that. If not, I still got other videos. Next week, we're doing a really cool week, which is nights are for the family. That's awesome. Yeah, family is key. You know, I wait until my daughter goes to sleep before I will go out and drive every time. So I usually don't start until after 8 because that's what time. But yes, going back to for next week, we're going to be doing a whole week dealing with driving sober. Sorry, I'm getting a little dry now. I need some water. But yeah, we're going to be doing take your email. Email me. Because it probably won't come through in the chat. Just to let you know, YouTube will usually take those out. They usually filter them out. So if you want, email me. It's realridesharestories@gmail.com. Shoot me an email. Only because, like I said, if you try to put the email into the chat, YouTube tries to filter it out already. Don't forget the toll roads video. Yes, I can do that. I do have that. There's a lot of videos that I've had that people want to talk about. So I'm trying to get them all. And I was going to do a video on like sports arenas and stadiums and that. But I will not be able to do that this week like I thought I was. And then all next week I have planned out for a Drive Sober campaign that I'm doing as like a special outreach. So that's going to be a fun week, very educational, a lot of things dealing with drinking and driving and trying to prevent it and all that good stuff. So look forward for all those videos because I have quite a few. I have a lot of different people also participating in that. And then also for anybody who's on this live stream right now or even watching, and if you're still watching on the replay, if you've had any experiences with drinking and driving, whether it's yourself, friends, family, whatever it might be in your experience and your story, if you want to share it, by all means, record yourself, record your story, whatever you want to talk about it, and then email me your story, and maybe I can squeeze it in at some point during the week. But I do have a full week of videos there. Might have to double up on videos per day if people want to do that. So yes, if you have any experiences with that, by all means, share your experiences. And I won't put anything on there that says, oh yeah, I go and drink 8 times a day and go out and drive. That's not what it's about. It's preventing drinking and driving. So anybody who has that type of experience, we would love to be able to post that, share that. So you can email me again at realridesharestories@gmail.com. Forgot the Gmail part. All right, but that's the end of tonight's video. If you guys are going out and driving, if you are driving, make sure you be safe, be smart, make good decisions out there. If you're not driving, watch a couple other good fun videos on the channel. Whatever you want to do, but enjoy, have a good night. And as always, never drink and drive. Always tip your drivers, and we'll see you next time.